Oh my gosh, look at that. Works this morning, but I don't have anything to say. Um, See, I just woke up. I just want to see if my interweb is working. This is what I look like in the morning. Here's what I want to talk about. I'm gonna get some breakfast. That's what I want to talk about. Let's talk about breakfast. It's about breaking a fast. Let me open my window even. You can see my crusty face. It's okay. We'll allow it. I will allow it. Okay. It works. It works again. Isn't that great? All I had to do is just, as Guns N' Roses said, have a little patience, huh? Okay, what happened to, I just got this notification that the time zones have changed. It's a real thing. Time zones has changed. So let me turn off my red light district screen. Hold on one moment, please. No, I don't never say please. Always say thank you though. That's what I've learned in life. Not pausing it completely. If you guys don't have it, it's a wonderful app. It's called Twilight. Um, and it dims your screen and gives you a nice red color to it. So it helps you go to sleep. Well, it doesn't help me go to sleep, but at least it's supposed to. It's at least good on the eyes. It doesn't keep you awake. It doesn't cause your brain to be in the blue color realm, which is more of an alpha brainwave. What's up, Robert? Yeah, what's up, Krusty? I feel like Krusty Krab right now. I really wasn't even gonna make a video right now. I just wanted to see if it worked. But now I've stuck myself into this position. So everyone's been talking about time speeding up, right? And apparently it's not uh, what is it? Sprig. We have fall back and spring forward with the clocks with the 1 hour nonsense. Which is, it's so funny that they still do that because that was all based upon something to do with farming back in the day. But let's forget about that. But yeah, it's good. Time zones have changed. How could the time zones have changed? Unless, of course, something with whatever we consider time changed. It's really weird. So if you've seen that in the front of my screen, I just got that notification. I was like, what the hell? And so I was looking up somebody else talking about it. And also, I told y'all. I told y'all. You think this old plasma thing is a joke? Look up this dude. His name is Smish. Well, I mean, you don't need to look him up. I mean, he's got a cool channel. Whenever I feel like listening to some news and a brief bit of commentary, his name is Smish Roomery. Smish Roomery. Yeah, I think it's what it is. And his video this morning, what he does is he scours the internet and he finds interesting things. Every morning gives people a good 10, 15 minutes of news articles. First thing he read off this morning was that there is green plasma that the aurora borealis has basically there's even more green plasma over top of, I believe, Iceland, that like in places it wouldn't normally be. So now we've gotten to see the red oxide, red skies, the purple skies, and the green skies. I told y'all. Y'all think this is a joke. uh, well, here, come join me. I'm going to get myself breakfast. And we'll talk about breaking a fast. Normally, I don't have breakfast until about, I don't know, maybe 6 p.m. That'd be reasonable. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna break a fast just by drinking. We got lemon juice, and it's just so much easier to buy one of these. I know that this isn't the best kind because it has sodium metaphospholate and benzenate. I know this. I would normally get a different variety. There's two varieties that don't have anything, but it's 100% juice. And I forget the name of the brand. It comes in a yellow bottle. If you ever find that, that's the good stuff. Anyways, so some lemon juice and because I like iced tea and I'm a fan of sweet tea. I like Milo's because this is 3 simple ingredients: sugar, water, and tea. non-GMO, good stuff. And I like sweet tea, so I'm gonna mix it up with some lemon. And usually I like my tea ice cold because it's a little too sweet with this stuff. Depends on how. My water I like room temperature. My iced tea must be iced. There we go, iced tea for breakfast. It's a good way to break it fast. Lemonade. I mean, you could do just lemonade, but I don't have. Well, I have lemonade or limeade. I prefer limeade to lemonade if I'm just drinking it by itself. So there's me breaking my fast. I don't really consider it breaking a fast until you've eaten something. Okay, well, damn. Yeah, last night I was geeking out because I couldn't connect to my my live stream at all, and it was my studio, my YouTube studio was all screwed up, and I deleted a bunch of videos thinking that there was a couple of videos just sitting there waiting for me to do them, and I deleted some of my live ones by accident. So sorry about that, but there's oops. You guys have plenty of live videos of me, so don't worry about that. There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of them. Well, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds or thousands. Yeah. Anyways, so it works, and here I am doing this at an hour that you wouldn't normally see me. What is it? 10 a.m. here. And anybody that's worried about me, not that you would be, but down here in New Orleans. It's been sunny, and we did not catch any of this so-called storm. I cannot speak for Gulfport, nor can I speak for Pensacola, but on the map, it looked like the storm just stopped and got bigger and was just trashing that area with wind and rain for like at least 12 to I don't know, it's supposed to even, it's still kind of hanging out there, but it took a weird turn. Apparently it's going northeast now. So yeah, interesting, right? And there's what, four more sitting out in the Atlantic, which is pretty weird. But it doesn't look like any of those. It looks like one of them has a possibility of coming this way, but the other ones do not. They're not in any position to come this way. So yes, there was no rain here. No, none of that. It didn't even rain. Could rain later, I don't know. Still a possibility, but at first it was just like, you're gonna get 20 inches of rain and 110 mile an hour winds. And my window's open right now, and as you can hear, there is no rain, no wind, and it's sunny outside. And I didn't sleep too much last night, and so it wasn't raining or anything last night either. Maybe for the couple hours I slept it did, but I don't know. So the morning news is the iron oxide that is being turned into the red skies, the green plasma, and the purple plasma, which are due to, and if you listen to him talk, he's talking about what I've been talking about, and the news has even said it, the national news, that the ozone layer is almost non-existent at this point. And what that means is the energies from other realms and the energy on this planet is going to change at a rapid rate. It's been already, if anybody hasn't noticed. I mean, I haven't been able to sleep. Everybody I know that hasn't been able to sleep, they can tell that there's a huge difference in energies. They hear different sounds in the air, Are you hearing voices? I mean, you might hear different frequencies and things. That's part of it, but mainly it's adjusting your energetic body, and your DNA will be adjusted. Your plasma in your body. This is why it's highly suggested to do a fast, to drink more juice, to drink some urine if you're into that kind of crazy stuff. Yeah. Cool times, huh? What a wild time to be alive. That was weird. So not see, that's weird. Okay, there we go. Just it vanished the amount of people in the room and the thumbs up for a second. But Robert is here. There's 10 others apparently that are here that have not graced the room with a hello or what up. Yeah. So here we are. What should we talk about now that I'm on here? I suppose I could turn this off and start another one, but you know how I do. I'll just find a way to talk my way through this. If anybody gives me a subject that they're curious about, I'm sure I have an answer. I don't know if it'll be the right one, but I do have an answer. Like, what is this? I got my rag on. Normally this is so I can go out in the public when they're like, wear a mask. I'm like, oh man, fine, I'll wear a mask. So weird. It is hot. It's hot in here. This is a hot one, right here. It's all hot breath in this. Because you wake up in the morning, if you already have hot breath, dude, it's gotta really suck for people that have bad breath. If they got the halitosis kicking already, to have to wear a mask all day. Like right now, I just did that and I haven't brushed my teeth. Yeah, that was pretty rank, pretty stank. And see, it's not even bad here because I put this over and it's right against my face. Whereas most people's masks, they cover up their nose and mouth like this, so when they breathe out, they're breathing that right in. So man, imagine having like really bad breath, like a smoker that drinks coffee. Ugh. Man, I remember growing up in junior high. The teacher would go out in the back, in between class, and just drag down a couple cigarettes. He probably had 2 or 3 in his hands, just smoking 2 or 3 cigarettes, and he would come back in, and he would just drink coffee, and then you'd have he'd walk around the class, and he'd have a question, and he'd lean over your shoulder and just breathe all, and you're like, what? No, I'm good. I got this. This is fine. I don't need help with this. Just stay over there, and if I have a question, you can answer it from a distance. But I could only imagine what that's got to be like for people. I wonder if they're getting a taste of their own medicine, Like I wonder, like I can taste it, like coffee, when if you just drink coffee in the morning before you've cleaned up your facial regions, before you brushed your mouth out, it's a funky, and like even smoking weed and coffee is kind of a weird. Anyways, what's up, Divine Hazel? Hold on, I gotta check this message real quick. Excuse you. Oh damn, so funny. So I just bought that Zoom package so we could do Zoom chats together. I just bought the whole year, and now my friend of mine is like, hey, if you want to use this is free, and it's just like Zoom, but it's free. Yeah, well, I've already bought the package, so, and I'm just getting to learn how Zoom works, all the functions. So it's almost turning into a classroom. I'm just I'm putting the word out to get to turn it into a cult. A classroom is no different than a cult, really. At least a school isn't. Oh, so there's here's this dude that I listened to. I never knew what he looked like, but I used to listen to him, and he put his face on camera. Really interesting. And never thought he looked like this. Indian looking dude. Doesn't have too much of an Indian accent though. Like Indian accent. And he said, what is the cause of Antifa? What is the cause of Antifa? He said the cause of Antifa is the professors. The professors are the theory, and the Antifa is the result. Try that on for size. Think about the school. The schools, like, I'm not into the conservative, liberal, that whole, they battle each other all the time. I mean, right now, I've most of my life been, I would probably say if someone was to look at me and say, you know, you're probably liberal, like liberal leaning. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm whatever it takes in any moment to be a good human being. But as I'm looking at politics now, I'd probably side with most things conservative. So when you look at what schools push, the agenda of professors and school systems is very liberal oriented. And so I understood completely what he said. When as soon as he said it, I was like, yep. You know, because even back when I went to college, back in the 90s when I went to college. That's funny to say. I went to college in the 90s. Damn. Um, Yes, watching the liberal idea, the liberal media, the liberal that leaning towards that. It's so funny. I mean, I don't really care because there's a lot of liberal things that I enjoy. You know, I don't enjoy the kind of anarchy that they're displaying anarchy in the way that most people think it exists. I'm an anarchist in the sense that um, a rose will grow through a sidewalk. Nature. Nature is anarchist. Nature is anarchist to the organized value systems of man. Meaning man needs to have order and structure and put these things like this. And nature is like, nah. You walk down a sidewalk in New Orleans and the tree will tell you what it's doing. It's not a flat sidewalk. And everybody just goes, well, there it is. That's anarchy. That's my kind of anarchy, at least. The anarchy where people are like screaming and running around, like, you know, berating people and belittling them and stalking them, and like that's the kind of anarchy that you've seen for years with the big circle and the A, and it's like, it's everybody's wearing black and masks. Well, that's what the Antifa is. It's a it's a it's a left leaning, you know. See, it's conservation, conservativeness. Like I was, that's not at all the values. But see, even if you look at what you consider Democratic or Republican, that's changed over the years. What you seen during the '90s and 2000s as Democrat used to be Republican in the early 1920s. The values completely changed. They always just swap positions. It slowly morphs into something else, and nobody notices because nobody does the research and nobody cares. They don't know what the value systems were. So when people are like, I'm Republican or I'm a whatever, like, and then because your grandfather was and your father was and you are, like, do you realize that the grandfather was so dumb? His value system changed because the political party system changed because the media's system of explaining something to them changed. So what he believed in 1960 is what you believe now. Because, like, wow, damn, we in the 2020s and you believe in some value system that your grandfather had, because he's put that agenda to your father, and your father said it to you, and then that got passed down, and then as his values changed because he's watched the news media, there's a separation between what the father and the grandfather believe, and then the son and the father, and then wow, what a weird thing. But the value system, because of there's this thing, and I'm going kind of on a wide tangent here. There's what's called 30-year cycles of everything. It's about generational gaps. Clothing styles, fads, these types of things, and these generational gaps that occur. Happens in political ideologies. It happens into clothing fads. It happens into, you name it, man. I mean, and there's smaller cycles within that. What people are eating. It's seasonal changes, but then you ever see something in a like a Goodwill store or something? Goodwill or Salvation Army, I don't know what you all play with, but look at some clothing in there. You're like, damn, that was something that somebody was really truly wearing in the 80s, and they was sitting in their closet, and now it's super fresh again, but they would never wear it because it's out of their timeline. People are seeing it going, oh damn, the 80s was fresh. They got the neon colors and all this, and like, yeah, right now it's like a compound of, at least where I live, I don't know about y'all, but when you see people in major cities especially, You see all of these different styles. It's all of these different fads from different eras and generations. It's all it's novelty theory that everything has become so novel that nothing that nothing matters anymore. Everything's the same. It's so different that it's all the same. uh, what else should we talk about? So we covered the Antifa is because of the professors and liberal ideas. And the funny thing, you know what? Here, I'll go a little deeper into this. The media. The media used to be very much. You have the left and the right media, and then you have some things that kind of play centrist. They play centrist. They're not really. And those channels would be like Fox or CNN, or you know, they're just to have a different. They spin it a little different. So they're one is playing the red side, one is playing the blue side. Now there's such a stark reality that everything that's going on in the world that it seems like, and let me explain this further. So there would always be playing someone's side. So whoever won presidency, the news media would still be there to push their agenda. Do you remember when George Bush Sr. was in office and he made this speech talking about it was at the it was at a press conference for, or was at the American Press something. It's not just it's not just a press conference. It's about the media, and he was like, "I thank all the media because if it wasn't for you, we would have not been here. We would have not been able to, you know, start this new world order. This camp. It's because of you guys. You know, because they're all on his team." Now, what it seems like, and what I've noticed, is there's such a stark, like all of the media, basically, most all of it, just shits all over Donald Trump. It seems like, it seems like, now I get it. Everybody's in on the game. Everybody's in on the play. Everybody's, you know, it's all the selection. It's not like I get how it all works, and then you know they all. I see how they shake their hands. I know all the paw moves. you know, you know whatever part of whatever degree you are. I get how I see how it works. So I know he's part of it, but everything he does is very anti it, and it's become so anti that the media like somehow is trying to turn the Joe Biden's weird sleepy whatever that is, if that's an act, wow, I'll give him an Oscar. I'll give him an Oscar tomorrow. He could take Oz. The Oscars come from Oz's car. You know, it's the Ark of Oz. You know who Oz is? Not that Oz. It's an older one. We're not gonna do that right now. Anyways, but it seems like Joe Biden is really just, he's lost his mind, and they're just like, just let him go, just let him lose his mind, and we're gonna see what we can do as the media to push everything to see if we can get the general population still to hate Donald Trump so much, even though if you look at what he's done, it seems like it's in the favor of the population, you know. I mean, what's he gonna do when he doesn't control the media? It seems like everything, the news media and the government used to be hand in hand. Now it seems like there's a little bit of a separation, where he can't just call a press conference. There's been times that he was doing live things, and Fox or CNN or whoever else would just turn the cameras off. The middle show, he goes, "Yep, I see the cat. You just turn it off." You know, and you watch it from the White House, you know, the White House broadcast, and they'll show the whole thing, and it's like, wow, that's so interesting. He said all that, and they gave you one little snippet, made him sound like a dickhead. I can only imagine what they do to most people. You know, like if you're heavily politicized, like they're gonna spin it in their direction, right? So it's very interesting as like watching the fishbowl, you know, while it's kind of weird because you know we're all inside of the same fishbowl together, but like not to be part of one aspect of it, like the political system, like it affects everyone's life on a daily basis, whether they, you know, whether they see it happening or not. But not everyone. Some people live very rural, and it doesn't really have any, you know, any effect whatsoever. But the political system, it's just, to watch it from the outside is a very funny thing. It's like, wow, what a funny game this is. if they're actually don't have it all scripted out first, and it's just Donnie Trump. He seems to be the antithesis of the media, and he seems to be antithesis of all things that have gone against, um, I don't know, countries, not just the country or the company, the United States of America company. It's a corporation, not just that, but he seems like he's, you know, doing things for the land mass that you would call America. America. It means rich soil, rich land. America. Africa. Rica means rich, fertile soil. It seems like he's doing something at least for the corporation. He's I mean, the dude runs businesses. What do you think it is? What do you think he's doing? What do you think he's attempting to do? You think he wants to run America, U.S. into the ground? No. But what is he going to do when the whole media thing is, shitting on his whole thing all day? So whenever they come out and say, hey, there's this mm, there's this crazy thing. It's called the Crovids, right? It's called, and you're gonna need a vac. What is he gonna do? What can he do? And people want to blame. They're like, oh, the country's in shambles because of this dude. Like, no, actually, I don't think you see what's going on. It's in shambles because of the media. And the media. Here's what I did want to do: talk about the media and Hollywood. Again, I think the media and Hollywood were. See, you'd be like, well, Hollywood's part of the media. Yeah, but it's a different aspect of it. They used to be on the same team. Now I don't think they are. Hollywood, I think, is way less weird and crazy than most people would say it is. I think most people that have that just live a life that have a little bit of a weird life, they would say, oh, I probably have a lot in common with what Hollywood is about as a totality. But you don't know anything about that because you don't live that life. You don't live with but what you do have is you have a skewed opinion of what the media has portrayed Hollywood to be. So it seems like maybe the media conglomerates themselves are the ones that are doing all of the evil. And maybe, just maybe, the governments of the world are separate than the media. And Hollywood and all of the movie business, they're separate than the media. Maybe. It's one way to look at it, because I used to think it used to be all one hodgepodge conglomerate, and they were all in on the club, secret handshakes, blah blah blah. Right? But it's starting to look to me as the media itself is something wildly different than what Hollywood is. That's different than the government. Not saying all of the people in Hollywood aren't completely insane. There's a lot of insane people. I'm absolutely sure of that. Um, but yeah. And some of them, like when you got these kids coming out, they come out like Disney kids, like, and their parents signed them up for Hollywood, put them into the, like, what the hell do you think's gonna, what the hell, how do you think they're gonna turn out? Like Britney Spears and all this. Once you MK Ultra them into a this is what life is, and that's her life. She knows nothing of a normal life. She knows that life. Her mind is going to be stuck at the age that she became kind of famous, right? Like her and Timberlake and all of them. Some of them can evolve to a degree and become, conscious and aware of things. But most of them, nah, they have handlers and controllers to a degree that you could never even imagine. People think it's a joke. Nah, man, it's been going on for a long time. It's been going on for millennia. Yes, I said millennia. For you, you could only consider centuries because you think TV is new. You think all this is new. Man, this cycle, these things have been going on for a long time. So, again, I digress on the point, except for to say this again, is I think the news media and the things that you see as the pop media, which is popping, which the bubble is all the things that used to be important are going. Nobody cares about the NFL anymore. Nobody cares about the NBA anymore. And people are less and less watching the news, and they're starting to try to they use the internet more to navigate their life and get different media sources. So it's not just directed at them. They can actually interact with it. There's no such thing as famous people anymore like it used to be. Famous people don't exist. They used to exist when we didn't have the internet. We couldn't communicate like this. Now you kind of you get to see them on a almost personal level, if you know if especially if they're doing podcasts and things. Now before you would have never known them. You'd have to go buy a ticket and go to the show, and then afterwards, vanished. If they want to maintain their fame, they can't do that anymore because they're just not that important. Because now you have how many, you got Netflix, and you got Amazon, you got how many different, and everything gets green lighted. You want to make a movie, so now everybody is semi famous, right? Everybody. There's hundreds and hundreds, if not millions, hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people that are kind of semi famous. Before there was like, oh my gosh, I got to see so and so. How much? Oh, they were in the airport, and like, oh my gosh. And now nobody really cares about those people anymore. And it's like, holy, like there's other people I'd rather see that are more important. So, and these last thralls, is that the word thrall? No, that's not a good word. I don't even think that's a word. I just made that up. Good. I wanted to say throws. I think that the word is throws, but I want to use a different word too, and I mix them together. This happens sometimes when you have a big vocabulary. An extensive vocabulary. In the last throes and fits of the giant media conglomerates, all they've done and been able to do is try to buy up things like the Facebook and blah blah blah. But even people are starting to, Facebook by the wayside. But then the YouTube and everything else, like they're trying to open source everything so that these things don't control and take over your life with one opinion of what the media is telling you and jamming down your throat on a regular basis to push their agenda to make their corporation, their power bigger. And as soon as those giant media conglomerates get, once you have a monopoly, people that believe in capitalism, you're not understanding. This is the fall of capitalism. I've seen people that believe a lot of really good things, but they believe in capitalism. Just because I don't believe in capitalism like the way that they do, doesn't mean I'm a communist or a socialist or anything. That's not what that means. I believe in something wildly different. And it's common heritage. But capitalism always has to fall. It's the natural cycle. It's the natural order of things, and it can never last because of the way that the money system works within capitalism. The whole game of capitalism is that interest, income tax, and inflation are part of the currency. Whether you have a backing of a solid object like a piece of gold or piece of silver, once there's a banking institution that's controlling that, it will always have sway over the stock market valuation of things and how much those things are worth and what your dollar is worth. So, and in that is capitalism. It allows someone to leverage things. And so as soon as things are leveraged to the point of it's ridiculous that there's someone worth $23 billion, and that's ridiculous that someone's worth $23 billion and there's someone that makes a nickel a day and is scraping up dog shit off the sidewalk begging for change. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. And that's what capitalism gives you, and that's okay. But then they just go point at socialism, they point at communism and say, well, I guess you don't understand how monetary systems feed into all of these things. Communism, under the guise, I'll say this again, communism under the umbrella of any type of currency is no longer communism. You can have a trade system without having an economic systems and the currency are different. The economy of a culture is the economy of a culture should be conservative economy. That's what economy means. It's economic. Yes. And people that believe in communism believe in what they think is called equality. But what if you believed in equanimity? What does equanimity mean? It means that the person that has $28 billion probably shouldn't have $28 billion, because I don't think they need all of that, because I don't believe that they're that smart, that intelligent, that powerful, that important. But I think the person over there that is begging for change should maybe get a little bit of that. And did they deserve it? Well, I don't know. Do they deserve to suck, to have that handed to them in life? I used to have this conversation with a friend of mine, and it irritated me no end. He couldn't be my friend anymore, because he believed that poor people should be poor, and that if you worked hard and that you would somehow you'd succeed. Like, that's not how it works in a capitalistic system. You think just because you see one person crawl out the slums that everybody can do that? It doesn't. It's not that easy. It's not. It doesn't. You can't just get up out the hood. It's not that simple. If you're born into if you're born into a rich class, you don't lose your money. It doesn't. You don't go broke if you come from a rich family. It just doesn't happen. What do you think's harder to do? You know, earn some money when you grew up, up to a single family household, sleeping with cockroaches. That's a real thing. Coming to school with no socks, can't afford to buy lunch. That's a real thing. You think everyone's just gonna be like, oh, look, if I get up and work hard. I used to have this conversation. I'm like, man, you are a fucking wild piece of shit. That was my only feeling towards him. Like, after a while, like, I was just like, I can't even fuck with you no more. You believe some wild shit. Cause he knew some people. Because he knew a couple people that, like, they worked hard and they got a job, like that. Like, they did it, so everyone can do it. I was like, you foolish homie. Yeah, I would call him a homie. I already told you I don't like the word homie. So I do apologize when I use it to people that I don't mean it to, because everybody knows what homie means. If you don't, look it up. That's an insult. It really is. So when somebody says, "Well, little homie," they don't know what they don't even realize that where that stems from. They mean it with respect, but it's a disrespectful term. Anyways, what's up, Infinite Warrior? Well, I get you. Politicians are celebrities in disguise. Yes, there's plenty of them that are. Eyes. What is Morgellons? I don't. Hey, ask me in another broadcast. I'm not into that right now. I'm not into that mental space, my friend. But and I've already answered that. In fact, you can go look up my name and Morgellons, and there'll be a video on it. I explain it fully. So that's the easiest way to figure it out. Infant War is kind of close, yes. What's up, Anna Kudlock? What are you doing? Yeah, Anna Kudlock. I mean, yeah, if you properly know how to use capitalism, but no one is instructed on how to use capitalism. And capitalism does nothing but cause a disparaging amount of... there's more of a divide. It's... When you say come from nothing, like what is value in society? Do you think that I think that someone like Elon Musk, lone scum, is a good person and has value? No, I don't. So that doesn't mean that he came from nothing because he tapped into a society and blah blah blah. Nah, that doesn't mean... Yeah, and capitalism is also the only system that that uses leverage to destroy things. It's a system of destruction and terror. It offers people opportunity. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you need that kind of opportunity because you need things and you need products, and you need to have more than someone, you need a lot of physical items. If that's because that's what I think you'd be implying that to me, at least, that to come from nothing and make something out of yourself. That's just the American dream, because you have to be sleeping to believe it. Yeah, that's via Carlin. But yeah, it's not in no way is capitalism healthy. Capitalism is, I want more of something. That is all capitalism is, because you have lowercase and uppercase. So you've capitalized something. So what do? You want more of it and more of it. And to get more of it, you have to make a less. You have to make a product that is less good. Like you have to make. If you spend $100 to make a product, and you're selling it for 105, and you're working in a capitalist society, and you got people on the stock market and stocks and bonds, because everybody is a chattel to you. That's what your birth certificate is. It makes you a piece of paper that's openly traded on the stock market with the capitalized system of the monetary units that you're using. Use those things. You go, okay, well, I have to make sure that I don't spend $100 on this product. It's going to look the same, but I'm going to spend a little. It's going to be less quality, and I'm going to make it cost more. So now it costs you 95, and you're selling for 110. That's what happens. So now everybody can have more. Some people, so a small amount of people can have more, and a very limited number of people can have more, and a lot of people can have way less and have to do all the work. That's what capitalism does. It doesn't make anybody better. It's not healthier. Let's get to that. What's normal isn't healthy, and what we see as more or successful doesn't equal health. In fact, in most times when you see somebody that is hoarding money, if you walked into someone's house and they had 100 cats, you'd say that's filthy. They have a mental disorder. They're fucked up in the skull. Their brain is not working right. If you walked into someone's house and you see somebody had newspapers from 1960 to now just stacked up everywhere, cat food everywhere, cats everywhere, and they were hoarding things, you'd say that's disgusting. They have a filthy. Now, but if you say someone has $1 billion in the bank, they're hoarding $1 billion. They're not sharing it. They're not putting it into the economy. They have $1 billion and it's theirs. That's hoarding. That's exactly the same thing as that woman that has 100 cats. It's the same thing. And it's a filthy mindset. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for the economy. It's not healthy for the planet. It's not healthy for other people, and it's definitely not healthy for them, because they're psychopaths, narcissists. They are. How many words could I use here? Which one? Which one do you want to use? It's okay because everybody has a little bit of this, but that's a lot. They have a lot of mental disorder to think that somehow gives them the ability to dominate people. That's what it is, to lord over them. Why do you think all these rich people, they run around in cars with, bulletproof glass, and they got big houses with fences around it and security guards? Because you shouldn't have that much. Because it's not tribal. Because it's not equanimity. There's no equanimity to it. I don't care about equality. Equality is a ridiculous term. No one's equal. I don't believe anyone's equal, but there you go. There's my rampage on that. Yeah, there you go, Anna. So yeah, you're more useful as an employee, not as an entrepreneur. Yeah, there you go. Unless it's a TikTok or a fad. But see, they've been taught that. So the social engineering has already dictated to the populace that you won't be and you can't be. So those people that do make it out of there, they've lived in this, look at, we're at the end of capitalism. This whole monetary system, everybody it's all getting trashed right now on purpose. So everybody that believes in it's having a hard time right now. Because now they're underneath. Only because all of the pieces fitting hand in hand with the media, with the actors, with the government, with the monetary system. With the it doesn't fare well for health of the planet, nor for people, and that's the end of it. And I'm into mental clarity, mental health, physical health, and what society looks like, and it's completely fucked. And that's part of what the capitalist system, again and again. If you do any research into the furthering development of the cycles of economies, when there is any type of currency, it doesn't matter what, if it's backed by anything or not, the capitalist will always turn into the socialist, or the communist. Capitalism turns into communism, turns into socialism, turns to anarchy. Well, somewhere in there you got to throw anarchy in there. There's a few different theories on things, but I think it was your boy, what's his name? Oh, Stefan Molyneux. I don't really agree with a lot of what he says, but he did a really good breakdown of what I was just talking about. Stefan Molyneux, French dude. Yeah, not a big fan of all of his work, but some of it's pretty powerful. A lot of people out here, they got a good chunk of the goodness, but then their theories and fall apart very quickly. Yeah, Anna, we'll just agree that you're wrong here. And here's why we're going to agree that you're wrong, because you're using it from a very selfish perspective. And I'm into holism. I'm into all of us, because we're all in this together, all for one and one for all. So you can't force it upon people, but you can, by your definition, you can't force that on people, but you can force the opposite. See, that you can have a government and a school system that forces literally the opposite onto people. That's okay with you. That's what you're deeming it, and I'm not agreeing with that. So in this case, you're wrong here. So we're gonna end capitalism talk for the day. Yeah, we'll see, because the because the money system's out of whack. The whole system. So here, I'm gonna call that. I'm gonna call that a day, so I can go up and finally wipe my face off, get the crust on my. Good to see you, Anna. Good to see you, everybody else. I'm probably back on here in a little bit, but let me make myself a little bit of coffee, wash my pits, and take a shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's good to see everybody. Hope you enjoyed the talk. Thumbs up are always welcome, and dollars and cents, because I'm just a poor poet. Just looking to make a buck in this crazy, crazy world. And you can find that beneath at the paypal.me/ capital TSAR, capital XEN, or the Cash App. This is $ and T, capital TSAR, capital XEN. And that's always appreciated. And I'll be back here and we'll talk a little later. Have a beautiful day. Stay well. Stay tuned in and be goofy.